What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. All these books are from either Lafayette, Indiana, or Chicago, Illinois. I went on a little business trip a couple weeks ago, so I stayed up in Chicago for a few days. So on my way up there, I stopped at a comic shop in Lafayette called Comics Castle, and that's where I got this first set of books. These are all priced books. So no dollar books from Comics Castle, unfortunately, but I did find some pretty cool stuff. This first book is Metal Gear Solid #1. This is the second print. I found this for $4.30, so just above cover price. So I'm pretty sure this is the first Metal Gear Solid comic. I bought this just to flip it because I was never a big Metal Gear Solid fan. I never had the patience for stealth video games. I think I played #4 when I got my PS3, and I played maybe like 5 minutes of it before I lost patience and never played it again. So I remember playing Tenchu, that old PlayStation 1 game, I think, and again, I did not last very long playing that because I do not have the patience for stealth video games. I just want to go in and start hacking and slashing, but just not my thing. But I was happy to find this. These go for about 20 or 30 bucks, I guess. So I was actually thinking about getting this one graded. I'm not sure. The graded copies go for a couple hundred, so I might just try to get it graded and see what happens. Maybe they'll do they've been rumored, or there's been rumors for a long time that they're going to do a live-action Metal Gear Solid movie. So if that happens, this will no doubt jump in value. So it might be good to have a graded copy, but we'll see. Next one, we've got Creed and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This one was $3.20. This was a crossover series between Creed and the Ninja Turtles back in the 90s. I'd never heard of Creed before. I think I remember seeing the comics back in the day, but I never bought them or read them or anything. But this looked kind of really I like the art style on this, kind of a cool crossover thing. Just between some indie comics, so that was fun. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with the 90s band with, was that Scott Stapp? Is that what this guy's name in the leather pants? I don't know. That ridiculous band that I loved. Alright, next we've got 10th Muse #1. This was $3.70, so just a little above cover. I picked this one up just because it's an early Mark Brooks cover. You can see his signature down there. It is not like his signature now, but it's just early Mark Brooks cover. I don't think he did the interiors or anything, but I just saw this and grabbed it because I like Mark Brooks. Next, we've got New Worlds Anthology #6. This one was $4, which is right at cover price, I guess. This is just an anthology from Caliber Comics in the 90s. This was one of the first homages, I think, to Spider-Man 1 by McFarlane. It was kind of funny. The signature says Rob Hemdy or Heimel, I don't know his name, with apologies, Todd. So it's kind of funny. I saw this on CBSI, I don't know, a couple months ago. I think there was one had sold for a ridiculous amount of money. More than 3 months ago, because I checked the eBay sold prices or sold listings, and the most recent sale was only like $15 back in January, but somebody has a copy on there listed for $250. So, God love you, and I hope you sell your comic book for $250, so then somebody might buy this one for $200. I'll take, if somebody wants to buy it for $100, I'll take it. So just thought it was a cool little piece of history there. Next, we've got Plastron Cafe #3. This is another anthology. This one's from Mirage, though, early 90s. It's got some non-Ninja Turtles Kevin Eastman stories in there, so that's why I picked it up. I think there's a Ninja Turtle story in Plastron Cafe #5, so that's the one I'd really like. But these are the first times I'd seen these in the wild, so this was $3.20, so just $1 more than cover. And then I got #4, also for $3.20, just another little anthology. another Kevin Eastman story in there, so I was happy to pick those up. Alright, next we got Slimer #1. This is a newsstand, actually, so that was cool. Spine's a little beat up, but this one was only $1.80, so I was happy to find that. I've seen some of those old Ghostbusters books before, and those are almost always beat up, so I haven't picked any of those up yet, but I would really like to get those old real Ghostbusters comics based on the cartoon, because that was a great cartoon, and I, of course, love the movies, so any old Ghostbusters stuff I'll pick up. This was the first time I'd seen his first issue of Slimer. This one was published by Now Comics. I'm not sure how many issues there were, but just a fun cover, so I was happy to find that. Next, we got Space Usagi #2. This one was $3.10, so again, just a little bit more than cover. Just trying to get all the Usagi books I can for cheap before they go crazy once the Netflix cartoon show hits or the trailer comes out or whatever. So just happy to find this. And then the last book I got at Comics Castle was this Ninja Turtles micro series, Villains Shredder. This one is $4.20, just 20 cents above cover price. So I think there was the micro series with the villains. There was like 9 of them, 9 or 10. Not sure. Obviously, Shredder is one of the more popular ones, so I was happy to find that for basically cover price. Alright, so that was all the books I got from Comic Castle in Lafayette. This next stack is from Graham Crackers that was in Chicago. So Graham Crackers has like 3 or 4 locations in the Chicago area. These first books were from the Loop location, which is just within walking distance of my hotel, so that was pretty cool. So I got a few books for 75 cents each, and then one that a priced book that I'll show at the end. So this first one, so 75 cents. It's Bad Planet #6. Just a cool Dave Stevens cover. This came out, I think, in 2006 or 2008, maybe. Published in November of 2008, which was right after Dave Stevens died, I think. So there's a dedication on the inside cover dedicating it to Dave Stevens. So this might have been like one of his last published covers that he did while he was still alive. I know a bunch of stuff got published after he had died. But I'd never seen this before, and he's got a very unique style, obviously, and that caught my eye, so I was happy to find that for 75 cents. Next, we've got Avengers Unplugged #5. This was the first appearance of Monica Rambeau as Photon, I think. Photon or Spectrum, one of those. I still haven't said what her name's going to be in the MCU. She's probably going to be in the Secret Invasion show, I guess. It looked like her name was probably going to be Spectrum, just because in the WandaVision show, she was like seeing things in a different spectrum, it looked like. So I imagine that's what her name's going to be. But I think this is her first appearance as Photon, which it was going for like 30 and 40. People were paying like $50 for this when WandaVision was on the air. It's dropped back down significantly since then. But again, it was only 75 cents, which is actually, 25 cents less than cover price. So if I can get, $20 for this, I'll be happy. Next, just some run filler, and just Hawk and Dove #7. This is the Rob Liefeld run on the New 52. So I was happy to find that for 75 cents. This is my first copy of this, or the first issue of this Space Ghost mini that Alex Ross did all the covers on. So I'm going to try to get all those. I've actually got, I think, the cover of #1 as the background on my phone, so I'm contractually obligated to find all of these that I can. So this is my first one, so I will be looking out for the others for sure. And last book I got at the Loop location was just this Usagi. This is number 34. This is from his first solo series published by Fantagraphic. This one was $5, so a little more than cover, but again, anytime I can find these early Usagi books for relatively cheap, I'm going to pick them up. Alright, And let's see, this next stack is from the Graham Crackers location. These were all 75 cents as well. The Graham Cracker location on Lakeview. Now they had a whole basement full of long boxes that were 75 cents. They called it, I can't remember if they called it the dungeon or the vault maybe. There's a big sign leading downstairs saying welcome to either the vault, I think it was the vault, but it could have been called the dungeon too, because there was not great lighting down there, but I think there's like 3 rooms filled with long boxes. So I don't know, maybe 100 long boxes of just 75-cent books. So I only stayed there for maybe like 2.5, 3 hours digging through boxes. That's all the time I could spare while I was there. So definitely, if you're in the area, check it out. They had some pretty interesting stuff. So that's where this came from. This first one is Girl Genius. This is kind of a source book for this series. This is Phil and Kaja Foglio's webcomic that they publish online, and then they publish the printed versions of. This is just a source book with like the background information and stuff on the series, and then I haven't found any of the physical copies of the web comics when they've been collected, but I'm going to keep an eye out for those as well. Next, got some more 90s movie goodness. Universal Soldier #2. That's, I guess, Dolph Lundgren's character on the front, maybe. He's got the flat top. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I don't think, had the flat top, but just a classic bad 90s action movie with Jean-Claude and Dolph in it, so had to pick that up. Next, we got Starlight #4. I think this might be the last one that I needed for this 6-issue run by Mark Miller, so I can finally read it. I read the first one and I picked it up and really liked it, so I was happy to put the whole run together that I can read now. Next, we got Dead Space Extraction. This is a one-shot. This was based on the Wii game, which I never played. I played Dead Space 1, and I don't know if I played 2 or not. I definitely played 1. 1 was awesome. I played that a couple times on Xbox 360 and really enjoyed it. I haven't been able to find there's comics based on just that are just called Dead Space, I think. Those are a little pricier than this Extraction book. This one, I think, goes for like $10 or $15 maybe. But those ones based on the first game go for a bit more, I believe. And speaking of video game books, we've got Loaded, which was a video. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I thought it was Twisted Metal there for a second, but it's not. So I saw the Interplay logo up there, and that's the old video game company. So I never played this video game, but I like the art on it, and then it was written by Garth Ennis, who I love. So I was happy to find that. And this is like super short, maybe like 8 to 10 pages or something, and looks like it's just nothing more than like a fancy, not even an instruction manual, just kind of some backstories on some of the characters. So that was kind of cool to find. Next, we've got Man of God #1. Now, the reason I picked this up, so basically my comic book collecting origin story was when I was a kid. We moved from Lexington to Louisville. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and across the street from the apartment complex I lived at, a comic book store opened up in 89, 90, somewhere around there, right at the beginning of the comic boom of the 90s. So me and my brother and my friends, we all spent a lot of time in the comic book shop, and we actually ended up working there like as middle schoolers, and I think we were all in middle school, so we'd work in the store for store credit, because obviously they couldn't pay us cash because it was child labor, and can't do that. But we would just like organize comics basically and just hang out, which was great. And one of the guys that actually worked there was I think he did the letters on this, John Sweeney. He was an adult that worked at the store. He wasn't, I think he was in college at the time, so 18, 19, 20. So he was 6 or 7 years older than all of us, which at the time feels like you're a 40-year-old. But he was a really cool guy, and I ran into him at a Comic-Con here in Louisville about 10 years ago when they had just brought this comic book out, and he gave me, I think there was 3 or 4 issues out at the time, so he gave me a full set of those signed by him and all the other guys that had, on the creative side of that. So that was really cool. So I've still got those, and they did a bunch of covers for the first issue, and I don't think I had this cover, and it was just cool to see it out in the wild, especially in Chicago. Just indie comic book from a person that I know. Just kind of cool, so I grabbed that. Next, got Mighty Tiny #1, just an old Ben Dunn of Ninja High School fame comic book, kind of mice steampunky thing. Not sure what's going on here, but just I like his art, so I grabbed it. Again, 75 cents, hard to pass up. I got this On a Pale Horse #2. This is based on that Piers Anthony book that I'm trying to collect. I think we're at 3 or 4 of these now, so it's pretty cool. Got a really nice Mike Okamoto painted cover. I'm not sure. I know he did the interiors on the first one, but he did not do the interiors on that. He must have just done the cover on that, I think. Okay, and the last book I picked up at Graham Cracker was this Supernatural Law, and I had no idea this existed, but I felt obligated to pick it up because I was in Chicago taking the Illinois bar, so a law-related comic, I was going to grab this. It's pretty beat up, but looked pretty ridiculous. And, Supernatural Law featuring Wolf and Bird, Counselors of the Macabre. So, who knows? It says number 28. Like, I've never heard of this before, never seen it. So, just hopefully it's a good sign that I saw it in the wild while I was taking the bar. And I haven't heard yet if I passed yet or not. So, hoping it's good news that I saw this. Alright, this last stack of books is from Dark Tower, also in Chicago. These were all dollar books. Dark Tower was a really nice store. They have tons of dollar bins. They're all alphabetized, so that was cool. And they actually had, they were stacked pretty high, but they had basically step ladders that you could stand on, so you didn't have to stand on your tippy toes like I was doing for the first 30 minutes I was in there, and then I realized, there's a stepping stool right next to me that I can lay down or sit down and stand on top of. So that was very helpful, so I appreciated that. First book I got was this X-Men Phoenix War Song #2. This is just a little mini series. I'm going to collect this because Tyler Kirkham did all the art. He did the covers and the pencils on the inside, so he mostly does cover work now. So he's one of the modern artists that I like, so I went back and figured out which stuff he did the pencils on, and this was one of the miniseries, so I'm going to try to put that together. It's only 5 issues, and they don't go for anything on the secondary market, so I should be able to pick them up pretty cheap. Next we got X-Men '92. I showed a couple of these last video. I think they were the David Nakayama covers. This is not David Nakayama, but I'm just going to put this whole run together, I think. So #2, why not? Next, we've got X-Men 260, just a cool Jim Lee cover. I was happy to find that. Number 253, got a newsstand here, just a cool Mark Silvestri cover. It's got Magneto, Storm, Jubilee, and Wolverine down there. Some really cool Silvestri art. And let's see, got some more run filler here, Wolverine Volume 1. Number 36, looking very badass with a machine gun while smoking a cigar. You cannot get more 90s than that, I don't think, so I was happy to find that. Next, we've got Willow #2, and the 3-issue mini. So I found #1 last year, I think, at a flea market, so I'm going to try to piece this little mini-series together. So I must have seen this movie 20 or 30 times as a kid, so I was happy to find the comics. Next, we've got Wild Siders #1. I'd never seen this before. It's just a J. Scott Campbell book from Wildstorm. I'm guessing from the early 2000s, maybe. I'm not sure how many issues of this there were, but like I said, I like J. Scott Campbell, and I like seeing him do stuff that's not like Spider-Man. It seems to be what he does a lot of now, so any like non-Marvel stuff, like Gen 13 a lot, and so this Wildsiders thing, I was happy to see that. Next, we got Ninja Turtles. This is just run filler from the current IDW run. This is number 84. Next, we've got a Marvel Knights double shot, number 3. I picked this up just because Greg Rucka is one of my favorite writers, and Greg Horn, great artist. He does the interiors for the Elektra story, so that was really cool. 80s book here, we got Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe, Book of the Dead Deluxe Edition. It's got a Rob Liefeld cover, with him drawing the buffest Adam Warlock there has ever been on the cover. And then he does some of the interior characters. But then there's also some good Jim Starlin art. He does the interior art for Warlock and Thanos, so that was really cool. And just a couple more here. Got Guardians of the Galaxy 53. This was just run filler. Almost got that whole volume put together now. And then the last 2 books I've got are some Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America. We got a cool David Finch cover over here, and a cool Michael Turner cover over here. So that is going to be my haul, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.